Hey guys, my name is Neil and welcome to NEEL Workshop Zone. So in this practical episode, we're going to be talking about how to use variables in Python ideally and also be telling you a little bit about ideally. So if you haven't checked my previous episode on this, where we've basically done our first simple line of code, the link will be in the description. But basically in that episode, I used Notepad and CMD and also another way of doing it, which is Python ideally. So in that episode, I never really said about what is Python ideally. So before we start this episode, I'll just give a quick introduction. So what is Python ideally? Python ideally basically stands for Integrated Development and Learning Environment. So it's basically used to execute single line statements and also huge pieces of code. So for example, when you open up ideally, you have two options. First, you have the Python shell, which is the first thing that opens up. So after opening it up, you can type single lines of code or just really short paragraphs. So you can type code like print hi or 2 plus 3 or something like 2 plus 3 minus 2, etc. So that is used to do single line of code and also multiple lines but not too many. And it doesn't save your code either, so it's just for checking if the code works or not. Now another option is the text editor that is in Python ideally, which you can access by clicking on new file. So when you do that, you can save the file and you can also write somewhat bigger pieces of code. So that is basically what ideally is used for. It's a text editor that is a lot more faster than Notepad and CMD. So there are other text editors as well, like Spider, SPYDER and PyCharm, which are a little bit more advanced than this, and there are some advancements that aren't in ideally. But for this practical episodes, I'll be only using ideally. So now that we talked about what ideally basically is, let's jump into the video. So let's open Python ideally. All of this will be set, all of the Python codes and everything will be done in ideally. So yeah, so now that I open Python ideally, let's do a simple code. So as I said in the previous episode, you can type and print anything here, like for example print and it works, right? So now you can also type simple types of code. So first let's try out something. Let's say 2 plus 2 okay, 2 plus 3 5. Now you can also do subtraction, like 2 minus 3 minus 1. You can do 2 into 3, which is the asterisk symbol, and then you can also do 2, which is 0.6666, etc. So you can do multiplication, addition, subtraction, division in this. So now let's do some simple code. So let's take a new file and let's do a code. So now that we got a new file, let's type something. So first let's take a is equals to 21 and b is equals to 76 and c is equals to 4 and d is equals to 2. Now sum is equals to a plus b. Okay, 1 minute. Let's type in a plus b and let's type minus c into d, multiplied by d, and let's click print sum and close it. Now now that we've written our code, I've just done a little mistake. I've typed in 4 instead of d. So you can see here that a is equals to 21, b is equals to 76, c is equals to 4, d is equals to 2, and sum is equals to a plus b minus c into d. So let's click on run and let's click on OK, and let's see 89. So as you can see here, let's take the actual code. You have got the answer, which is 89. So this is basically how to do code. There's a lot of ways. You can also use input functions and output functions to make code. So now that we're done the code, as you can see here, we got the answer. So there are many ways you can do this. You can use input functions and output functions and a lot more ways to do the code. We'll also talk about more about how to use data types and many other ways, and we'll also be doing more episodes. So that is basically how to do it. As you can see here, in the next episode we'll maybe talk about some new concept, or talk about some new practical stuff and show you how to do input and a lot more things. So anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out any new videos. And that's all folks, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.